Cyberpunk 2077 is releasing tomorrow, and for a lot of you guys that have been on the channel for quite some time, we know pretty much everything there is to know at this point. The only stuff that we don't know is stuff that CD Projekt Red haven't released, but we will be finding that out all tomorrow. But despite all the hardcore fans that have been keeping up to date with Cyberpunk ever since it was announced back in 2012, there are a lot of you that have only just caught wind of Cyberpunk. So I'm getting quite a few messages over on Twitter, some on Discord, and a lot of comments here on YouTube asking about the basics of Cyberpunk. And as it is releasing tomorrow for all you people, I have put together this video which goes through absolutely everything that you need to know. Now, if you are a player that have been keeping track of this game ever since it was first announced, or even just in the last couple of months, this is information that we've gone over before. So if you are one of those players, you're welcome to click off this video. You're not going to get anything new here. But for those of you that are new to the community, you're not quite sure what Cyberpunk is, and you want to get all the information before actually going into gameplay tomorrow, then this should cover everything. Before I do get into the video, if you do want to see me streaming Cyberpunk 2077 when it is released tomorrow, then there is a link in the description down below which will take you over to the Twitch stream. Head over to there, drop a follow, and you'll be notified the second I go live. With Cyberpunk releasing, I'm hoping to do daily videos here on this channel on YouTube, and I want to be pushing for at least 5 streams per week, hopefully going even to daily streams. So if that is of interest to you, as said, there'll be a link in the description down below. Getting back into the video, the basics of a Cyberpunk 2077 that you would need to know before actually getting into the game. Firstly, we have the plot. Cyberpunk 2077 is an open world action adventure story set in Night City, a megalopolis obsessed with power, glamour, and body modifications. You play as V, a mercenary outlaw going after a one-of-a-kind implant that is the key to immortality. This is the overall plot of the game, and if you haven't seen a cinematic trailer that's been released by CD Projekt Red, I highly recommend going to watch it. It goes over the basic storyline of which I've just told you, but also it is actually a very good watch. Going off the story, I did say that you play as a mercenary called V, and despite being a set character, you actually do get to have character customization. This is where you get to choose a body type, you can pick a voice, you can change up different variables for the body such as the skin tone, change up the eyes, eye color, nose, ears, mouth, jaw, beards, surface wiring, hairstyles, and it can even go as far as changing up your genitalia. The customization is crazy in depth. CD Projekt Red have stated that Cyberpunk is about creating your own path. And this is where it also goes into the introduction of the game, which also somewhat counts into character customization, because what you pick here will have a lasting effect for V throughout the rest of your game. And this is where you can pick a life path. You have 3 life paths to pick: Nomad, Street Kid, and Corp. The Nomad life path puts you in the path of an outsider. The Nomads live in clans, roaming the Badlands, which is an area just outside Night City. They're not always liked by others. If you choose this path, you choose a V who left their clan in favor of the life in Night City. If you select the Street Kid life path, you find yourself in Night City where gangs and violence are rampant. However, this rough nature means that you know the urban environment well and have street smarts. If you choose the Corpo life path, you will find yourself as an agent for Arasaka Corporation. Your body will have top of the line military grade cyberware that normal citizens could only hope for. So after reading out those descriptions, I would recommend picking the one that sounds most appealing to you. And the customization doesn't just stop there, because once you do finally get in the game, you can change up your style with different items of clothing. The clothing options aren't just about the way your character looks, but also will have a direct impact on your character, as they will have different resistances to different elements that you'll find in Cyberpunk 2077. You then also have different type of cyberware options which you can customize, and there's also different weapon options that you can customize. All of this is about shaping the character the way that you want to shape them. And this brings us to the next point. Cyberpunk is a role-playing game, and a big part of this is making choices. So we've already gone through the character customization in all the different ways that you get to shape your character to make them look exactly the way you want them to look. But not just that, you also have branching dialogue. Whenever you talk to someone within the game, you will have a number of different options which will have a number of different consequences coming off the back of them. Now, what affects this branch in dialogue is a number of different things. Firstly, you'll have the normal dialogue options. These are there no matter what you have picked before this. In some cases, you'll have a dialogue option which is linked to the life path that you picked at the beginning. For example, if you are talking to a gang member and you pick Street Kid, you'll actually understand more of the lingo. So therefore, you'll have more dialogue options when talking to them. If someone from Corpo was talking to a gang member, they won't have that understanding of the language and what's being talked about. So therefore, that branching dialogue option won't be there. Black Corpo Life Path will give you more branching dialogue options if you're talking to someone that is part of a mega corporation. So you can start to see how this will all come together. Because there's branching dialogue, you'll also have multiple endings. CD Projekt Red haven't even given us a slightest insight of how many endings there are. We could assume that there will be a couple main ones, but there will also be slight variations of those main ones, and that will equal a number of different endings. But with this, we just need to wait and see. But with a branching dialogue and multiple endings, you can now see that your actions have consequences. So be careful of some of the choices that you make. The next talking point is the setting. Cyberpunk 2077 is set within Night City. I have already briefly mentioned it in a couple other points before this. Night City is a fictional city in the free state of Northern California. It is located on the west coast of the United States. The population is said to have around 6 million inhabitants across its many boroughs, and makes it the most populated city in California. By 2077, the city was voted the worst place to live in America. From the moment it was founded back in 1994, it has gone through a lot of drama. And originally, it wasn't even called Night City. In fact, it was actually called Coronado City. But after the death of the founder, Richard Knight, in 1998, in his memory, the newly appointed city council renamed Coronado City as Night City in his honor. And this is just the tip of Night City. If you want to know more about the law or its districts, then there will be a card on screen right now which will take you directly to those videos, or you can go into the description down below where you'll find a link. There's so much lore back in this game, including Night City, that if I was just to carry on talking about it, this video would go on for quite a long time. So yeah, if you are interested in learning more about the setting of Cyberpunk 2077, there will be links in the description down below. Now that we've gone through the setting and we've also talked about the plot earlier, a very cool and interesting thing about Cyberpunk 2077 is the side quests. CD Projekt Red have always been good with their side quests. Fans absolutely love what they had to offer within The Witcher 3, and CD Projekt Red have confirmed that the same system that they used for The Witcher 3 will be used within Cyberpunk 2077, except this time it has been expanded on and it has been enhanced. The side quests that you can find aren't just your generic go to a location, kill all of these people and be done with it. They actually link in with the lore of the Cyberpunk universe. So if you do want to find more information about the world, the best thing for you to do is just carry on playing. What's really cool is that if you do spend a lot of your time absolutely loving the side quest and actually get distracted from the main story, you can actually complete the whole of Cyberpunk 2077 just by going into side quests. And this is where it would link into one of those multiple endings that we were talking about earlier. Moving on to the next point. This might go without saying, but cyberware is a massive part of Cyberpunk 2077. It's actually probably the reason you're watching this video. Cyberware comes under the customization, and we did briefly mention it. To add cyberware to your character, you must visit one of the many Ripper docks that are located across Night City. There are many of these Ripper docks that operate legally, but some conduct illicit deals such as installing military-grade cybernetics for the right price. Cyberware comes at different rarities. You can get common, unusual, rare, epic, and legendary. And as these go up in the rarities, it also goes up in price. You are limited to what you can do with cyberware though. There are around 20 slots available in the player character's body for installing cyberware, and various cyberware goes into different parts of the body where it provides different functions and benefits. And that's also not to say that every bit of cyberware that you apply to your character only takes up one slot. Some pieces of cyberware will actually take up more. So there are limitations, but within the areas that you can apply cyberware and also the different cyberware that's available to you, you can have a lot of variation with what type of loadout that you'll have. This also brings us on to the next point, the weapons within the game. There are 3 different weapon categories within the game: power, tech, and smart. Power is the most traditional weapons in Cyberpunk 2077. These guns use conventional ammo, making them the least futuristic weapons you can wield. To counter this weakness, bullets from power weapons ricochet off surfaces, giving you the chance to kill enemies who may be hiding behind cover. Tech weapons use railgun technology, meaning they use electromagnetism to fire projectiles at high velocity. Bullets from tech weapons can punch through walls. And finally, smart weapons use guided missile technology. This allows you to track enemies once the bullets leave your chamber, so you never have to worry about aiming down sight and making sure that the enemy is within your sight. As long as you lock onto the enemy, these bullets will track them round no matter where they are. And with these weapons as well, you still have attachments and also modifications, and those two things are completely separate. Attachments are weapon attachments that you can add to the gun. So this will be the stuff where you can get better grip or even a better sight, which will improve the accuracy. Whereas modifications can be chipsets that you can insert into the gun. This will change up the type of ammo and the behavior of that ammo. So you can actually get ammo that will set on fire. And by including a chipset, it can dramatically change how that weapon operates. Now we've covered the types of cyberware and also the types of weapons that you can get at, and everything that you can do with them. Is now about getting around the city, exploring, and finding a place where you can actually use these weapons. And this is where driving comes in. Driving also plays a massive part of Cyberpunk. And there are many different vehicles that you can obtain, either by stealing them or by buying into them. Every single car that you get within Cyberpunk can be put into vehicle categories. The categories are broken down to economy, executive, heavy duty, sports cars, hypercars, and motorcycles. Looking at the economy category, this is your rundown, beat up vehicles that we can't imagine will cost much to own. These vehicles will get you from point A to point B, but they're not going to be doing it in style and they're not going to be doing it fast. Executive vehicles are a bit better. These still aren't your fastest vehicles within the game, but they are faster than economy. The selling point of executive is once you do get to your destination, you're definitely going to be arriving in style. Heavy duty vehicles includes the types of trucks that you can get within the game and the tanks available. These vehicles won't necessarily get you to the location quickly, and they also in some cases won't get you to the location looking good. But what they will do is protect you from the moment you leave all the way to the moment you arrive. If you manage to get the NCPD after you, they are never going to be able to stop you. You'll be able to smash through roadblocks and you'll just keep a constant speed. For something a bit more quicker, this will take us to the sports cars. The sports cars look a lot better and they get you from point A to point B so much quicker. If you were to be racing around Night City, this is the category that you want to be looking at. And finally, we have your hypercars. And hypercars have a bit of everything apart from economy. Hypercars have a lot of horsepower, making them very useful for races. They've also got a thick plate of armor all the way around them, protecting you when you do get the NCPD after you. In some of the cars, they've actually taken the windshield out and replaced it with just a metal plate. And finally, the hypercars do look absolutely amazing. No matter where you go, necks will be turning just to look at your hypercar. And finally, we have the motorcycles category, which doesn't actually need to be talked about too much because I think we all know what a motorcycle is. But these vehicles can be stolen or they can be bought, but it's not as easy as just saying that. It'll probably be very easy to steal an economy. There's actually not going to be too much technology going into that class to protect it. But with the more expensive vehicles within the game, you either need to get your skills up to know how to steal it, and this might involve knowing how to hack, which you need to actually start building up and grinding and learn those abilities. If you do want to do things the legal way and you do want to buy things, this is where you need to build up your money and you also need to build up your reputation within the world. And if you do become a very powerful person within Night City and you actually can't decide what vehicle you want the most, good news for you, you can actually own multiple vehicles within the game. Your safe house will come equipped with a parking garage to store different vehicles, so you're covered in that area. But you can only have one vehicle active at a time. So if you do want to swap out for a different vehicle, you'll have to take your current vehicle back to the garage, or you might have to change it within the menu, as all vehicles within the game are equipped with AI. So you never actually have to worry about leaving your car somewhere and remembering where you left it. You can actually just call for your car and it will drive towards you. But anyway guys, those are the biggest areas that you need to know about before getting Cyberpunk 2077 tomorrow. You should have started watching this video without too much information relating to Cyberpunk 2077, but now you know a lot more, getting ready to actually start playing this game. If you do have any more questions, then let me know in the comment section down below. With how much lore as well as all the features that CD Projekt Red have put into Cyberpunk, it can be kinda overwhelming. So if you have anything, let me know in the comment section down below. If I do somehow miss your comment, because there is quite a lot of you guys here on this channel now, then you're welcome to go over to the Twitch stream. I will be streaming this game as much as possible when it is released, and I'm happy to answer any of your questions over there. All you need to do is go over to there, drop a follow, and you'll be notified the second these streams start going up. But anyway guys, I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did enjoy, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. But for now, I'm going. So see ya.